Hey there, my name is Megan Sumrell. I am a time management and planning expert, and today I'm going to give you a tour of my office. Now, what we're going to be covering here today are three things. First, we're going to be going over the importance of the location of your workspace in your house. I'm going to talk you through some things to think about there. The second thing we're going to go over is deciding what equipment, what tools, etc., actually deserve the prime real estate in your workspace. And then finally, I'm going to share with you the three tools I use the most as a planning and productivity expert. Now, before we jump in, you might be wondering, why do we care about what lives in your office? Well, as a planning and productivity expert for women, I am always researching the latest and greatest tips, tools, and technologies about how to get the most out of not just our day-to-day kind of operating mode, but our life in general. And when it comes to working, there are a lot of things at play that can actually bring a lot of joy, purpose, and fulfillment to your workplace. So let's go ahead and get ready to jump into the first thing, which is understanding and setting up the right location and vibe for your home office. First thing I want to talk about is the importance of the location and vibe in your office. Now, when I'm talking about location, I'm not going to say, hey, the east side of your house is always better than the west. That's not what I mean. When you are deciding where you're going to be setting up kind of your workspace at home, it is critical that your workspace is not the same place that you go to for rest, relaxation, and fun. This is why you absolutely never want to have your bed serve as your office. There is a ton of studies out there that actually show if you typically try and work from bed, it's going to make your sleep worse, and it's also going to decrease your productivity. So I have a space in my house that is just for work and work only. Now, I didn't always have a dedicated space, so if you don't, you can even just carve out a particular corner in a room, say, with a desk. When we built a screened-in porch years ago, I remember thinking, oh, it'll be great, I can go work outside. Well, what I found is because that is my place to go rest and relax, I don't work well out there. So I've stopped trying to do that. So it's really important that your work location be for work only and you have separate places for rest and relaxation. Now, the vibe part is where you really get to bring in your unique fun. Different colors really help create different levels of productivity, excitement, etc. So think about the colors that are in your office. Do they make you kind of want to chill out and relax, or do they energize you, right? You want to create a workspace that inspires you and that gets you excited about the work ahead. Now, in a recent book that I read, I just did a review on called Feel Good Productivity. He shared a fascinating study about the importance of bringing nature into your productivity. So if possible, have a workspace with a window. I have two where I can look outside and see nature. If you can't, try and get some artwork in your office that actually represents nature as well. Now, let's go ahead and move into the second thing, which is deciding what tools, etc., get prime real estate in your workspace. Let's talk about kind of what goes where in your office, actually setting it up for productivity. And what we typically think about doing instantly is actually the worst possible thing. Most people will gather all these supplies that they believe that they need, then go run to your favorite, organizational store, Home Goods, the Container Store, buy a bunch of great bins, and then get everything set up. That is not what you need to do. Instead, I want to teach you about what's called reverse organizing. And this was a skill I learned several years ago through Laura, who owns Get Organized HQ. Here's what I encourage you to do. Take all of the supplies that you think you use or are currently using, put them up in just a box or a bin, and get them away from your desk. All right, meaning that they're not accessible right here. Then over the course of the week, anytime you need something, get up and go retrieve it from the corner of your office. What this is doing is it's highlighting for you what are the tools that you need to use on the regular. Now, when I first did this, I had so much stuff in that bin, and it was fascinating. By the end of the week, there were very few things that I had taken out of that bin. But the ones that had been taken out of the bin were letting me know these belonged in what I call the prime real estate part of your office. Meaning when I am sitting and working, they are right there at my fingertips. The stuff that was left in the box doesn't mean it wasn't important, but it meant that I could go package it up into a bin in either my cabinets And in some situations, I moved some tools up into the attic that I may only use once or twice a year. So I want to encourage you to think about that reverse organizing process. You'll see here, like this drawer, prime real estate, these are the pens that I use on the regular, paper clips, etc. Now, down here, I do want to share with you something that has been really useful for me. If you film a lot, as I do, got a little bin here with, my lip glosses, lotion, and a little mirror and some powder in there as well. And then these are the only files that I keep here in my office. So again, definitely take the time to go through that reverse organizing process. I want to share with you the 3 tools that I use the most as a planning and productivity expert. Now, I'm not including my computer in the mix. That's just kind of a given. So I want to share with you that the next 3 tools that I use the most. First and foremost here is my paper planner. Yes, I still use a paper planner. I use the Top Planner, which is the planner that I built and developed, and you'll notice it is a weekly layout. The way I teach weekly planning, this is the tool I'm using all week long that tells me what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. This means that I do not get stuck in decision fatigue all day long. The next tool is my One Notebook. Now, I've got a video out here on YouTube teaching this One Notebook process, but this is the tool that I use all day, every day, jotting down notes, ideas, things that I think about, things I learn in trainings, and then once a week I process this, and everything in this notebook ends up living in its permanent information repository. Now, I'm going to get up from my desk and I'm going to take you over to the third tool that I use and love as well. Third tool is my giant wall calendars. Now, if you've been following me here on YouTube for a while, you may have already seen I have an entire playlist of all the different ways that I recommend using these gorgeous wall calendars from Kaleidoscope Living. They sit in such a location that when I am at my desk, I can look up and see a year at a view. Why this is so helpful and why I use it all the time is, number one, it helps me make really good decisions from a strategic and long-term perspective. Again, I teach how I use this in those other videos, but from my desk, I can instantly see, based on the colors that are up here, if I'm needing to make decisions in the future, I know what times I might need to avoid or which times are already pretty full to help me make really good decisions. The other thing that this wall calendar is also doing for me on the regular is, based on some Post-it notes, colors, information that's on here, it's a constant reminder and visual tool for me of the longer term goals and projects that I'm working on. It helps me stay focused on the things that are most important and kind of holds me accountable as well for the things that I'm working on and the goals that I have. Now, obviously, there are a ton of other things here in my office. You may have even noticed, yes, I keep a dog crate in here. We do have to incorporate real world into our office, but I want to encourage you, really think about your location and vibe. Take the time to do that reverse organizing, and then think about what are the tools that are going to support you in being as productive as possible. And remember, my definition of productivity is getting the most important things done in a stress-free way.